I'm getting really sick of guys named Todd.
Like the whole Irish nation. We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
My good friend Phil Rivera, pipe maker extraordinaire.
Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Where'd I get that music? Yeah, it's on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Piper on the 45. Let's see what we got in the house. Smoking a Nub, Connecticut. Don't pull fairies off the week. Sometimes the thumbnail doesn't post. So, and that's okay. That's all right. I mean, we you know, we do what we can. We do what we can. We do what we can. Let's see. Donald Graham, Phil being sadistic. So I don't know. I don't get it. Chip, W. Piper in Cincinnati. The boy is asleep finally, thank the Lord. Well, he's putting himself to sleep. Troy, good to see. Oh, gosh, that's a lot of gambling, Troy. Right, where the heck did these wings come from? I'm just sitting on the porch, just trying to smoke a pipe, and bam, wings appeared. Apparently, like, fairy believers' weapon of choice is a hammer.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny. Hey there, Patrick. Good to see you. Todd, welcome aboard. The lovely Sue Jones. Donald Graham. Kicking him back. Yes, I am getting the music from YouTube, specifically. Yep, that is correct. That is true. Piper on the 45, good to see you. Welcome aboard. Somebody stole Cabela's trophy on Sim. I'm okay with it, Hillbilly Piper. Good to see you, sir. Always welcome aboard. Always welcome. Always welcome. God dang it, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Oh my gosh. Less than a week to go and less political ads. Thank the Lord.
It's Miller time.
So the boy and I have been binging on movies since the wife has been gone because I want him to have a fun time. It was really funny though. I picked him up today from after school. I picked him up from after school. And the lady that was checking him out and everything that signs him out says, I'm usually there in the morning. And she goes, it was either Monday or Tuesday. He came in. He said, my mom's out of town all week. I don't know if we're going to make it. I was like, boy. I was like, I can't believe that. I was like, we've been having a good week. Dadgummit. As Curmudgeon would say. Retro Hell. Welcome aboard. Oh, the pow. Pow. Did I pow too loud? I must have powed too loud. I mean, it must have been that dang donkey. I must have powed too loud. Thank you, John. Welcome aboard. Glad to make your presence known. Oh, he tossed me under the bus so bad. We've done good this week. Except I screwed up on his homework. He missed a problem on his homework because I read it and didn't understand the question. I am not smarter than a fourth grader. I screwed up. And the teacher had to mark it wrong. And he was so angry. So I told the wife to message the teacher and let her know that's all my fault. He did get it right. Even if you don't change the answer, I just want you to know that was my fault. Ooh, on a cruise ship. Get it, Sue. And we've been having fun. We have watched the movie Labyrinth. We have watched Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. Though there's much more I have to block from his vision in Ghostbusters 2 than there was Ghostbusters 1, but that's okay. That's all right. So we ever do it. Matthew, good to see you, sir. And so, I mean, it is what it is, but, we'll see. We'll see. She is back tomorrow, so he is happy about that. So am I. That's on the list. So it's probably going to be this weekend. I will say some of the movies do not hold up well, especially on streaming. When you watch some of the older movies and a little grainy. Little miscolorization. It is what it is, though. So I mean, he still had a ball. So Sue Jones going down to the Bahamas. But we've been doing it. We've been getting along. So he's been doing well. He's been a champ about it. He misses his mom. He is a mama's boy. Dune might be a little over his head, I would say. Dune might be slightly over his head, which is okay. I was thinking about having him watch Beetlejuice, but then there's some there's a few things going on in that movie. Just a few. John, we have watched the Back to the Future trilogy. In fact, we have watched it all three back to back. So he's definitely on board. I mean, he's McFly, right? So I mean, if Back to the Future is on, it's okay. Porky is not on the list. Sorry. Porky's is not on the list. Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. The Frankenstein monster. The werewolf. Abbott and Costello go in the army. The Mummy is great. I love The Mummy. That's where the Abbott and Costello movies is where I fell in love with the Andrew sisters. Caddyshack's not on the list. Not on the list. No Lord of the Flies. I'm not a big Western guy unless it's like, I don't know, Young Guns or something, and that's got foul language. Who's on third? I mean, look, if I am an Abbott and Costello fan.
What is the fella's name on third base?
What is the fella's name on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know. Third base.
Yep. Baby Ruth. I thought about doing the Sandlot. Sandlot is a good one. That's a great one. No, not Blazing Saddles, for the love of God. Not that.
Just look at that.
They probably wouldn't. Well,
Great.
some of them would make a fortune. And it is bowl call. What are you smoking and drinking? Donald has smashed the bowl call button. Can't watch Weird Science because it's about boobies. Though my wife, I had my wife watch it one day when I saw it was on, and she thought it was pretty funny. That's a great movie. It's got a great, what's the word? It has a great moral. Has a great moral. Absolutely. You're killing me, Smalls. I mean, look, okay?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Look, I know this. I know this. Patrick's got some quiet nights in a Professor Walker nail rusticated pot. Troy's got a 7L 320 with some McBaron HH Old Dark Fired. Angels in the Outfield. Good movie. Sad movie. What is it about with those movies playing on people's emotions? I was trying to think what else there was that was a good one. Goonies is obviously a very, very fun one. Hey, you guys! Patrick drinking coffee with bourbon. Yes, sir. Please. Donald Graham's not smoking yet. Cooking dinner, but is drinking a Wicked Apple plain on smoking out of his church warden with some Aaron Moore. Old Yeller, no! My goodness, it hurt the soul. Matthew's got some sixpence and a Brigham billiard. Babe Ruth! Like, what? You took your father's what? Oh, Short Circuit. That's a good one. Short Circuit and Batteries Not Included. Both of those are good. I mean, Johnny Five. Whew. Johnny Five is good stuff. There's a lot I'd like for him to watch. And he loves them. He loves them. He will mention, though, like there's certain parts of Ghostbusters or Labyrinth where he's like, you know, the graphics aren't very good. Great Outdoors. Uncle Buck is okay, except when the mouse calls John Candy a big lion sack of shit. We saw The Never Ending Story. That's another one we have seen. We've seen The Never Ending Story. I'm trying to find The Dark Crystal. That was a favorite of mine when I was younger. He is a fan of 80s cartoons like He-Man and The Real Ghostbusters. So he does like those. Sue L.J. Peretti's Thanksgiving Blend is now available, and her husband got some. There you go. Piper on the 45's got Mortley's Best in a Medico Cavalier Bulldog. Loving it. Roger Rabbit's okay, except for his wife. And I'm not sure they should make cartoons look that way. Yeah, Todd, the Dark Crystal's good. There will be no cheeks and chongs, Troy, for the boy. Hey, man. Hey, man. Cats and dogs. I mean, why should I do it if I can
Mike from Briar Blues here.
have somebody
Welcome
else?
to the dark side.
Welcome aboard, Mike. Where did it go? Did I lose it? I must have lost it. Oh, there it is.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Absolutely. I'm glad you agree. Mike, welcome aboard, good sir. Brian, I have never heard of that one, sir. That's a new one for me. It did look like a dog's head. You are correct. Since he's smoking some Rustica in the 79673, I heard Rustica gives you a pretty big hit. Am I wrong on that? Twins was a great movie with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't let him see that till he's 21. Yeah, right? Understood. What other good 80s movies are there? Let's see. Good 80s movies. I feel like if Derek's actually here on Friday for once, since he's missed two, or how did Halloween pull up when I said good? Oh, I said good 80s movies. Good kid 80s movies. There we go. Oh, lots of cartoons. Oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. Okay. I can't believe Roger Rabbit's on that. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Oh, no. Annie. Annie's a classic. Annie is we've watched Tron, and we also then watched Tron Legacy. Good call there. By the way, Tron Legacy's entire soundtrack was done by, what was it? What's that one band? The techno band. I want to say Das Boot. It's not that. It's like Def Punk, I think it was. No. Phil, no. Nope, absolutely not. No, thank you. He shan't not learn about such things. Oh, The Time Machine. That's a good one. With the Morlocks. That's a great one. It's a good book. It's a really good book. It's not a big book. It's a small book. White Fang's a good one. So is Call of the Wild. I think Call of the Wild, for me, would be my favorite out of that. I also read that book. That is, oh, crap. The author is... Oh, it's escaping me. I know this because I've got a whole collection of his books. I can't think of it. Definitely not Terminator 2. Jack London. Thank you, Matthew. E.T. is a good one. Yes. E.T. I don't know if... Well, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure if I was the biggest fan of E.T. Treasure Island? Yeah, that could be a good one. I'm not even sure I've seen Treasure Island. There's a lot of cartoon movies for sure. Oliver Twist. Let's see. Oh, man. Gosh, do I make him watch? Do I let him watch? Yeah, there we go. The Peter Pan's, Bambi. Do I let him watch Land Before Time? That one hurt my soul. Hook is a great movie. Hook is awesome. That would be Gulliver. Gulliver's Travel, I think, Sue. Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello! He has seen A Christmas Story, by the way. That's one of our Christmas favorites. I was wondering about Pee-wee's Playhouse. Close Encounters? I don't know. Oh, another movie that I was wondering about letting him watch. for a scary one, and then I backed out, which was Something Wicked This Way Comes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. A little bit. I mean, they get a little fresh. No, Pee Wee Herman. I mean, it's not the worst. He doesn't have to know all of the history. Let's see. Ooh, how about this? Does anybody remember The Boy Who Could Fly? Or what about the one where I think the movie was called Radio Flyer? That was a good one. No, Clarence. No, sir. No, sir. The Prince's Bride. That one's more of a love story. I don't think he'll completely be on board with it. We have watched some of the Superman movies. The Secret of Nim. Does anybody recall The Secret of Nim? That was a really good one. Don't encourage him, Patrick. An absolute classic has to be Willow, if we're getting on the fantasy train. The Boy Who Could Fly was a great movie. I also liked Radio Flyer. Andrew Sirigliano, the Bluefin Piper, welcome aboard. Clarence, did I say welcome aboard to you? If not, welcome aboard. Jungle Book, that's absolutely a classic. We thought about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I think that is one that I'm going to put on there is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Are you talking about the cartoon one with all the animals, Brian? Because that was my absolute favorite. We saw Labyrinth. I don't think we saw James and the Giant Peach. Let's see. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember the Apple Gang? They're men in tights. Does anybody remember the Apple Gang? Or what's his name? The Green Dragon. What was the Green Dragon's game? The Apple Dumpling Gang. That's correct, Sue. Thank you. Brian, the cartoon Robin Hood is the absolute best. The Navigator was great. He would love it, but we have to watch the Pee Wee Herman movie before we watch that, because if you remember in The Navigator, the ship used Pee Wee Herman's voice, if you recall, Donald Graham. Pete's Dragon. That Pete's Dragon was a great one. The original King Kong, that would be Fantasia. That is a classic. The Wonderful Mr. Limpet. Puff the no. Sue Jones like, absolutely not. I'm just saying, like, if he's gonna watch The Navigator, he's gonna watch that. Another one I wanted to have him watch was The Explorers. Does anybody ever remember The Explorers? I think he had was it Corey Feldman? One of the Coreys. Ethan Hawke. And then one other guy. But I love that movie as well. Dragon Slayer was a good movie. The Flight of the Navigator. Yes, that's what that was. Inner Space. Inner Space was a good one. Oh, the Karate Kid. How are we forgetting the Karate Kid? War Games. He's a little gamer. He might like War Games. Field of Dreams. That would be one. Oh, Gremlins. I feel like Gremlins. We saw Gremlins, but I feel like Gremlins is no, not the Lost Boys, Clarence. Good Lord. Avatar. He's watched the show. He loves the show. There can be only one. No. Absolutely no. Nothing Mel Brooks. Especially the silent film version. Yeah, I mean, like all the Karate Kids have got to be a good one. No, he hasn't seen. He has seen. Yes, he has seen Star Wars through the third movie and the fourth, and then I think we're close to Anakin being just completely obliterated, which I don't think he's ready for. Does anybody recall? And this is a bit of a niche because again, I was a big Star Wars fan. Not so much Star Trek, but I was a pretty big Star Wars fan. Does anybody remember? Now this is an obscure one. Okay, this is one of those really, really obscure ones. which is, does anybody remember? I'm gonna crank that down a little bit. Let's see, is that enough? That's probably enough. Does anybody remember The Last Starfighter? Does anybody remember that? Critters. Yeah, I remember Critters. I haven't watched Ender's Endgame. Let's see. Excuse me, look above. Just watch TV series like Mayberry, The Rifleman, Wanted Dead or Alive. Okay, yeah. But yes, The Last Starfighter was one of my... Was there nudity in The Last Starfighter? Oh, no. That hurts my soul. That absolutely hurts my soul. Oh, the Indiana Jones. Those are good ones. Not sure how that's going to work over with a German mom. Let's see. Oh, the movie Big? The movie Big? I don't know. No, he's probably... No, he's too young for that. The Last Starfighter is absolutely a good one. The Supermans, Willow, the Star Wars. I think that's pretty much his genre. Oh, do I let him watch The Fox and the Hound? I mean, how much is that? Quigley Down Under. I love that movie. That's too in depth and too slow for him. He won't make it. Oh, the Ewoks. Yes. I love the Ewoks. Those are great. Enemy Mine was an awesome sci-fi. What was his name? The black guy that played him. He was in a lot of movies like Iron Eagle and let's see, it was Iron Eagle and a few others. I can't remember his name, but I loved him in that. The Truman Show. Lou Gossett Jr., that's right. Red Dawn is absolutely not on that list. The Muppets Take Manhattan. Now, I'm not much on the Muppets. Funny enough how Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal are some of my favorite movies as a child. And I don't like the Muppets, which is weird. Quantum Leap was great. The old one with Fozzie, the Fonz. Brett Windsor, welcome aboard. Small Soldiers, there we go. John Wayne movies, yeah. Yep, Princess Bride. That one's more of a lovey-dovey, so he'll have a hard time with that one. No, Phil, I can see that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. What is it? I can't remember their names, but it's like Dondorf or Bondorf or something like that. I can't remember their names. They escaped me, but I thought they were hilarious. I do like those. I'm not sure there are any other 80s movies for that young. Willow would be a great one, though. What was the one with Tom Cruise where he was like, he had a fairy? It's not Peter Pan. It's a fantasy movie. I can't remember the one that Tom Cruise did. And it's got the devil in it and everything. It's a bit of a romance as well. Time Bandits. Is that one anybody ever saw? No, not Top Gun. It's the one where, Legend. Thank you, Ganj. Thank you, sir. Yes, Legend. That is absolutely correct. That one's kind of, but it's a little dark. It's a bit dark. I mean, there's a lot to get your feelings hurt over. Probably will never let them watch Little Shop of Horrors. That movie is just disturbing on so many levels. Jose, good to see you, my friend. Tim Curry played the devil. Interesting. Kroll is a good one. I like Kroll. That one was a good one. I think everything else is more like 13-ish. Definitely can't watch Teen Wolf because I don't want him to see somebody's winky at the end of the movie. Clockwork Orange. Wow. Yes, that's it, Patrick. That's it. That is correct. The Monster Squad. That's a good one. That is a good one. I wonder why I didn't see that one. There's some good ones, but he's going to have to be older to see. He just isn't quite. He just isn't quite there yet. Let's see if there were any ones that we missed. Little Monsters, that's a good one. Little Monsters will do it. Monsters Inc. Yeah, I'm trying to stick to some of the older ones though. A Silver Bullet. Oh, that's right. Yes, you kicked the Wolfman in the nards. I love it. Oh, The Wizard, because it's video games, so The Wizard would be good. That's when you got to see Super Mario 3. The Mighty Ducks. That's a good one. Boy Meets World. Yep, I remember that one. He obviously loves the Home Alones. I think Hook would be a really good one. There's E.T., Mac and Me. Oh, Mac and Me made me sad. Hurt my heart. How about, I need to introduce him to all the Ernest movies. Like Ernest P. World. Didn't he go crazy or something? But yeah, didn't he go nuts or something? I feel like he went nuts. Yeah, we've seen Tron, both the older one and the newer one. Holy shnikes. How about we start a live real quick? A live? I mean, how about we start a Never Ending Story? Yep, got that one. How about we start a how about we start a Zoom? I'll start one since I can't stay up late. Oh, he died of cancer. Crocodile Dundee, that's a good one. Brave Little Toaster, Donald Graham. Yes, with the little lamp. We have one of those little lamps. Little lamp. Ah, that's like something with a pulse. Thanks, Phil. Let's see. New meeting. Oh, let me set. Go in here. Boom. 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 Let's see. Oh yeah, I can't put it in that way because it's stupid. Here we go. Kaboom! You know, I'm thinking about loading the boy up with a couple arcades too. If anybody would like to join. With the little train. I don't know which one's with the little train. Peach Dragon I really loved, but it made me sad. That one. No, Ace Ventura, Matthew. No, sir. Negative. Negative, Ghost Rider. Space Odyssey would be a tough one to get through. I mean, he will think it's really cool at the very beginning to see the obelisk and everything, but I'm not sure how much more he'll want to see after that. Hey there, Mike. Good to see you, sir. Yep, we've seen the Never Ending Story. No Dumb and Dumber. Boy, will you look at the fun bags on that? No. Absolutely not, Clarence. Oh, Phil, where'd you go? Phil, I saw you, then I didn't see you. Then I saw you, then I didn't see you. I feel like about right here is where it's at. Mike, good to see you, sir. I don't know why I'm not hearing you. Oh, it's because you're on mute, Mike. Pulling everybody in.
Oh,
There he is. I got you now.
Wow.
Oh,
Mike
we have
pretty
seen.
blue.
What was that, Phil?
And Mike is pretty blue there at the lighting.
He's a little blue. He's got such good temperament, though. We have seen Indian in the Cupboard. That one made him very sad because he had to let his little buddy go. Yep, we've gotten the Home Alone 1 too. That's definitely part of the. You know, I'm telling you, the old Disney flicks are just a psychologist's dream in terms of what's wrong with people, because they make kids go on the worst roller coaster ever. And that's psychedelic. There, Mike. That is
Like
it's
three
really
mics in one.
It's really psychedelic when he moves around while it's going. No Wayne's World. Bill and Ted's is okay, except he's like, oh, your mom is so hot. No, not introducing him to that one. I mean,
your horns are holding up your halo, Mike.
Where's he at?
Feel like I should have a rosary in my hand right now or something.
Everybody's waiting for Mike to talk so we can all see what he looks like.
food.
No, he was a chicken nugget. He's all white meat, everybody.
You know, chickens don't have nuggets.
It's all white meat because somebody bleached them. Unless you see him run by with some boxer shorts on that have color on them, you'll never see him. Mike watched too many Disney flicks while he's going through.
And where's Robert? Because Robert was a Disney animator.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Let
different.
in here, Roberto.
Sorry, Andrew.
Paging one Lancero.
I've got to make sure I'm watching back. Like I use the right to monitor chat and everything, and then of course everybody pops in on the left, and I'm like, oh, like, damn.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Oh, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a great movie.
Yeah, you're right. That didn't come up. That was a good one.
Well, that's a bit older than the 80s, though.
Well, Mary Poppins.
Yes, Mary Poppins is a good one. I mean, pretty much those older ones are really, really good.
Dick Van Dyke. There's a conflict of interest.
Dennis the Menace. Bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
The twain shall never meet. Let's see.
Martin, you really have to watch Dr. Detroit.
Dr. Detroit? All right, I'll write that down.
Dan Aykroyd and Howard Hesseman.
You made me think of another one, like Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
You know,
but I'm thinking kid.
Trust me, Martin. Marty Jr. will love Dr. Detroit. Don't watch it with your wife.
Oh, understood.
You'll be in big trouble.
I also like the Nutty Professor Jerry Lewis version.
Yeah. What was it the whatever thing that formula would bounce all over the place? Whatever.
Isn't that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No, he had that goo.
Flubber or whatever, right?
Oh, Flubber.
Yeah,
Flubber.
Yes.
Flubber. Yeah.
Yes, because it would bounce all over the place, and he made the car. He made the car
Men
fly
in
around.
Black. You do a Men in Black marathon, all three.
This is true. Yeah. One thing I have noticed, especially after watching Ghostbusters 1 and 2 with the boy, probably against my better judgment, is everybody smoking cigarettes. And he's just sitting here staring. He's like, I don't understand. He's like, I don't ever see this. What are they doing?
The other thing is American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we survived it as kids. You know, we didn't all smoke. You know, so I mean, at some point they're going to be exposed to it. So it's better.
Well, in fact, I don't.
In my thoughts, a controlled environment where you can explain things to them.
I think he's even less likely to smoke because of those movies, because he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like,
Phil,
are those pipes? I'm like, those
smoke.
are small white cigars, son. Well, I don't like them. they're the Phil cigars.
I'm playing a trombone here.
Oh, I could play you some trombone.
Is that a Lovat you're smoking there, Andrew?
No, actually, Mike. This is a is a Peterson mirror.
All right.
An old Peterson mirror.
I just saw the band and I thought it was an Ashton Lovat that you
No,
took out of my hands.
I smoked that one earlier today. It's resting right now. Loving that pipe.
He will not be watching the Blues Brothers, even though they're on a mission from Gad. He will probably not. I am excited though, because I don't know how long it'll last, but I know my friends are very envious of the fact that he loves 80s stuff. Like, he is a retro kid.
Ghostbusters.
Oh gosh. I mean, it's just, between Ghostbusters and Back to the Future, like, he can't get enough of them. And then now we've got to watch the new Ghostbusters movie that just came out. So he's already seen it, but the wife and I haven't. So we're watching that Saturday.
I've been waiting for, what is it, 3.5 years now for the final Indiana Jones.
I mean, they've only made like 9 of them.
They need to make another one?
There's the final one.
The final one was when Sean Connery was in it for me. And that's just because I was a big fan of Sean Connery. Jurassic Park's a good one.
I mean, with George Harrison, there's one last. I think it's called The Final something, whatever. I can't remember, but it's already filming. Injuries. Harrison Ford had some injuries and stuff, but apparently it's going to be released. Just it's been dragging on forever.
Troy, I'm not sure Jaws is appropriate for an 8-year-old, especially when they're getting smashed on the boat.
Yeah. When he gets a little older, Martin, you gotta watch the Beastmaster with him.
Oh, the Beastmaster with the ferrets and everything. I mean, that's like absolutely.
When Jaws came out back in the 70s, we would go to pool parties. None of us would get in the pool after dark.
Absolutely not. No way. I was going to say Jose. I don't know if he's still in there, but that was going to be that kind of no way. Oh, no, there he is. I just have to admit him into the chat. Sorry about that, Jose. See? I was that was a very fascinating coincidence, Jose.
That was a very fascinating coincidence, Jose.
Hello, Jose. ¿Qué pasa, amigo?
Hello.
Jose.
¿Qué pasa, amigo?
How are you?
Hello, Jose.
Long time no see, Jose.
I decided to enter here only to say that I feel so sad when I hear about those little children that they don't have a dad like you, Martin, to show them those classic movies.
Oh, I will show all of them.
Yeah, I know, but many children are there growing up without know about Back to the Future and Jumanji and all these classics
Jumanji was
you
great.
have been mentioned.
With Ron Williams there. Like, for me, I almost feel like there should be like a kids drive-in.
Exactly.
Their parents.
I mean, here's another field of expertise. If you didn't know, Jose is a documentary filmmaker.
Nice.
And he's
not very good, not very skilled, but thank you, Phil.
Yeah, when he's not flying drones into trees or mountains.
Oh, nice.
especially for that, I repeat, not very skilled.
Nice. This is well. I don't know. You could fly one.
Great for grasp of the classics.
You could fly one onto like a snow cap and then have it start tumbling down. You could say this was the first guy that tried to climb Mount Everest.
Actually, it is a good shot until the tree crash. I have to say.
Right.
But even with that, it's cool.
Yeah, he just edited the crash out.
Yeah, it is very fun.
I mean, a buddy of mine were talking about how, and we kind of we went down. Of course, we went down a rabbit hole and like over and over. Like he's like, we should just record our conversations, have a podcast. I have a buddy that we talk every day during the work. We talk about 2 or 3 hours a day. We're childhood friends. He's the Crow. He's the one that's the Crow. And we talk absolutely every day, and it's like a Seinfeld version of a podcast. What it'd be about nothing. And today we went down a massive rabbit hole, and we talked about how we're currently in we're like we were talking about arcades, and so there's this group that does these arcades called Arcade 1-Up, and what they do is they make these smaller versions of the retro arcades. So like at least retro in terms for me, what I was playing like The Simpsons and like Street Fighter and whatever other games that were in that time in the 90s. And we said we were sad because they will never understand how state of the art it was and how and what the feeling was like to see how amazing it was when you would walk into a big arcade for the first time and all the lights and sounds.
To add to that, I mean, you think about it, back in the 80s and early 90s, you could go into a mall and typically they started out in this area downstairs, and it was like the full basement.
Oh, yeah.
Of every freaking video game.
Oh, yeah. Skee ball, the hockey games, like you name it. Tickets galore. I mean, it was just, but the thing to us is that I grew up, I was an 80s kid where, Nintendo came out, we had Atari. Asteroids is still my favorite game of all times. And we got to see Galaga was great. We got to see all these the progression of the Nintendo games. And like Nintendo and Sony and all them were trying to catch up to the arcades. Like they could never quite get anywhere close to the arcade levels. Now we're at a point where home entertainment has vastly surpassed video, like arcades, the theater, you name it. Anything in terms of technology that can go on a TV at home now in 4K is vastly superior, except for watching movies in a theater on actual reel is the only real way to watch a film.
I mean, a lot of those games and those movies, you got big screens, whatever, you have an entertainment room if you desire to build one, but that environment is gone.
Right. And so like, I hate the fact that they will never know what that was like to see that progress through. And then we thought about it and we're like, well, what's different between what we have now in terms of technology and, for instance, like the printing press? Like the moment that everybody was able to get a book and how that exploded and all the authors and everything, and it was amazing. And then radio, and then how that exploded and had every form of entertainment. Then television.
Flashback right there, radio killed or MTV or whatever killed the radio star.
Yeah, video killed the radio star. And so we've had those sections of time, and I'm just wondering what's going to be the next one that hits. I mean, maybe it's meta. I don't know. Maybe that's the next big one.
What you got to do is show Marty Jr. Pong.
Pong?
Yeah, say, here's how it started.
Yes.
To where we are now.
I still love that game too. But it does, like, I am sad that they will never see how, like, I mean, let's be honest, 80s was the explosion of video and audio, like, combined, where it just took off like a rocket.
But it started in the 70s. I mean, any of you that had computer programming. And then towards the 80s to the 90s, it was just immersive, one thing on top of another. It wasn't a do-it-at-home thing. The stuff at home was kind of minimal, but the arcades and all that.
Oh, Space Invaders, that's a good one.
Gone.
Centipede, that was another good one that I liked.
Do you ever see? You remember Martin when Dragon's Lair came out at the arcade game? At the arcade?
And I
crazy.
Sucked at that game. I died in the first
Everybody
scene
did.
every time. I have seen that scene so many times. And Arcade 1-Up has one. I'm like, if I got it, I would just hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Because I would be so angry. The Simpsons one is pretty cool because it's got the 4 controllers for the Simpsons and it's got the wheel. But he has never watched the Simpsons. There's certain ones that I like. There is a catalog of bringing him up to speed.
Well, The Simpsons was kind of like Married with Children. There was quite a bit of adult humor in there.
Yeah, especially the first seasons. And
Oh yeah.
By the third or fourth season, when Bart began to have more protagonism, everything's changed.
Yep.
From that. So now it's more family friendly, if you want.
Oh, we have.
Only now.
Then there was Pac-Man, Sue, Joust, Troy, Tempest. Wow, yeah, that's a good one.
Miss Pac-Man.
Shut up, Ganj. I'll let him watch that over. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I mean the old play-by-turn game. I mean, I remember in the mid '70s, my uncle was an IBM guy, and in his basement in Santa Cruz, he had a computer set up, and it was like war games. You want to play a game, it was all script.
You want
to play a game?
Story.
Well, that's true too, Phil. I mean, the original games, like, what was it called? Like Bork or whatever. What was it called? The original, you just read them, right? There was no graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then depending on your choices, alter the outcome of the game.
Oh, Ghosts and Goblins, Donkey Kong.
Ghosts and
Yes,
Goblins, that's a great game. Yeah.
Donkey Kong's a good one. Yeah, I mean, they were absolutely stories. In fact, I forget what it was. Was it Neo Geo or one of those older ones that, like, you would just see a room and you would turn left and then it would punch out a story and what would you want to do?
Yeah, if you were really lucky, it was like this little tiny cathode ray tube with this green 3-dimensional walls.
Right. Yep.
Animation to it. And you would enter or whatever. You'd have the script choice and you go and then, whatever. And then it just go, boop, you're dead.
Oh, pinball. Oh my gosh. How many hours and coins I put into pinball. Oh my gosh. And how many times I hit tilt on that sucker because I'd get so pissed off. Pretty much all
You know
of
what
them.
I saw the other day on Craigslist? A pachinko. I haven't seen a freaking pachinko game.
Isn't that a gambling machine?
1974. It's the Japanese pinball game that's vertical.
Yeah, they just go ding, 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 and they're just
Yeah.
dropping. Yeah. We used to
Somebody
watch
had
them
it on
gamble all the time
curb,
in Japan.
giving it away. I was like, oh man.
Funny story. Funny story. So gambling is illegal in Japan. And I would watch these guys play pachinko. And then when they were done, they had their whole bucket. They turn it in for a certain type of token. It was a bar. It was either gold, silver. They got a number of each in a combination. And then they would immediately go outside. And I'm like, golly, I'm like, these guys are hardcore. They just take their little things and go. And
No, they're trading them for cash.
Yeah, so when we walked out and left, because we had a lot of fun at the it was called Gas Panic, was the one in Japan that we were at, and they walked out, or we walked out, and then we saw some guy. We were not walking next to a guy that was also walking out that had a bunch of bars, and we watched him. He walks around the alley, and there's a little bitty hut with a curtain on it, and a little drawer pops out. He dumps his things in there, that goes in, and then comes back out, and then he's got money. And we were like, what are we watching?
The sign on the curtain in the alley says, "I don't see you, so don't pretend to be there."
It's like, does not exist.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation. You know, like my all-time favorite, absolute favorite arcade that hands down, even if I never played it one time, but I just had one, would be Tron. And the reason it was Tron, and it was simply the fact, and I do this with my son too, was simply the fact that my dad was one of those absolute flea market hunters. He loved to go to the flea markets and wheel and deal. Most of it was a big pissing contest that he would have with the guys he got to know. And so every time we went, there was one arcade game there, and it was raggedy as all get out, but it was Tron. And so every Saturday I got to play Tron as an arcade game, and I got really good at that game. I love that game. And I told the wife, I said, I would never have to play it. If I had a full, actual, real Tron arcade machine, I said, I'd probably lose it. But the Tron arcade, to me, would be what the DeLorean would be to McFly.
So got a question for you. First Tron or the remake of Tron?
First Tron.
I enjoyed both of them because the first one, there's something about it, and memories that are associated with it you can't change. But the second one was pretty darn good too.
You know what I appreciated about the second one is that the story fit because he was stuck in the grid. The thing that Little Man, that I pointed out to Little Man, which was awesome because the second Tron movie hit me hard because of Clue, which in the very first movie, at the very beginning, you see Clue. He's in one of the tanks trying to find the data. I mean, that was their whole visualization of what it was like going through a computer system, and I loved it. Man, that gave me.
That was another game. Hey, I don't remember the name of it, but there was like Tron. There was a tank game, and all it was a black screen with this green outlines of a tank and crosshair.
There were so many. I mean, there were so many good ones like that. Like, it's just to me, Tron stuck out in the '80s, and for me, playing the arcade game as much as I did, plus the movie, I mean, it's an all day.
I think there's only one place I remember from the '80s.
I can get a Tron arcade cabinet for $4,000 on eBay. I am aware, Ganj. I have seen.
My high school buddy was the manager at one, and it was Chuck E. Cheese. And apparently there's still a few Chuck E. Cheese pizzas around. They have to whack them up, whack the gopher or whatever, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I am very curious to see what the next evolution jump is. I kind of hope it's not meta. I wish more it would be something in augmented reality. I'm just not as comfortable with plugging in.
It ain't gonna be meta. Meta, Zuckerberg is tanking.
Well, he has spent so much on it. I think I read an article. He has spent like $71 billion on it so far, and he's
tanking.
Just this year alone, he spent 9 of his 10 billion of cash.
He's lost more money in the last few days than any other.
Oh, there's Glenn. I'd love to hear
billionaire like his type is lost.
I'd love to see what kind of arcade games Glenn played.
Come on in, Glenn.
The water's fine. We got some nice music playing for you. Anybody else wants to jump in? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but does anybody agree? Like, like pretty much video games was like that printing press jump, or does anybody think there's a better version of that they could?
I haven't played a video game since the Wii when my daughter was 8 or 9. So I have no idea.
Or that's an image. Mike playing tennis on the Wii.
I'd love to see that.
No. Mario Kart.
I'm old enough,
Mario Kart's great.
little
Excellent game.
older than most guys, and still, what, about 10 years younger than Mike. I mean, we remember playing freaking pinball machines.
I loved pinball machines. Man, I couldn't. The other pinball machine that I would get would be the Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine from Bally. That would be another one I would fork over quite a bit of money and not feel bad about it. Just, again, it's just nostalgia. All pure. And I think, and that's why the arcade 1-ups are so popular, because they are completely feeding. I mean, it's the same thing with the movies. It's the same thing with so much stuff. Even listen to music now. Music has almost gone with an 80s retro style these days, because I don't know if anybody has any creativity left. It's such a visual audio overload.
There was a thing a few years ago that most artists now, the mass-produced artists, can't even read music, let alone write it.
Well, and how popular the voice augmenters got to be able to perfect pitch systems that they put. I was like, what's the point then?
Yeah.
Like what really is the point?
Yeah, there's no uniqueness. Everything's just digitally enhanced product.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like. I mean, that's why you have some still genuine artists that still go after like the old mics and everything like that are just the old mics, the old amps. I love the fact that, like, people are going after old amps
Blow
for the
out a
sound.
tube, get that certain sound.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just all of it. It's just, auto tune. Thank you, Glenn. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, it's just, I mean, just like some of that sound is I think it's critical. Again, I think there's massive value in it. We can see it because artists are having to try to replicate a lot of that. And I don't think they
The problem is everything's so commercialized. It's plastic. It's artificial. There's no lumps or warts or individuality about anything anymore.
Yeah, there's no color to the music anymore.
Yeah, no color, no character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Tom Waits.
Well,
if you put
there
Tom
is
Waits on,
a way to explain it, Phil. I have to go now, but I wanted to say this. Any pastime was better. And that is the thing. In movies, you can confirm it. In maybe series are doing okay, but they are the same that we had movies before that was better than series. So
well, and even movies before, like if you look at Alfred Hitchcock movies, they were terrifying, but they weren't terrifying because they were graphic. They were terrifying because it was great cinematography and story and acting.
Exactly.
They
don't do movies like those.
Story left enough to the imagination where everybody created that suspense in their own mind. Hey, Jose, good night.
See you, Jose.
With Hitchcock, not only was the cinematography brilliant, he used music and to build the texture for each scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, perfect example. And I don't like scary movies. I've seen enough scary shit in my life.
Oopsie.
So typically, when I hear the music, I can watch it all the way through, muted, no problem. But as soon as I hear that tension in the music, I was like, okay, here it comes.
Right. Since he makes a good point, vinyl is coming back pretty hard and heavy.
Yeah.
Now, my dad still has... My dad still has all his vinyl.
Freaking records here around the floor.
Yeah, my dad still has all his vinyl and record players. He used to get pissed off at me because I used to accidentally change the time on it when I was younger. Because because that was the thing. I had the books. I had the little. Did anybody remember the Disney books with the the little small record player that you had to put the little link thing in? I know. I see the stupid 10-minute thing. I can't stay up late anyways. But I'd have to put that on there, and I had the little record player, and then something happened to the little record player, so then I started using my dad's. He'd get pissed off. He had the big stereo and all that kind of stuff. He had the reel-to-reel. He still had the 8-track tapes, all of it hooked up to it. And there is so much to the sound, whether it's just the low static hum because the low end is just at that time it just wasn't really like, filtered out, with a board or anything like it is now. There was just so much character and color to music and everything. I used to listen to everything on my dad from the Jackson 5, Aerosmith, Kiss. I mean, you name it. Like he had a whole slew of them.
It's like a book too, Martin, having a real book versus,
great.
A Kindle or something, right? Where you have that vinyl record with the, all the inside and the art and everything. It was, yeah.
Yep. I remember breaking out the Beatles records, the Elvis records, the Doors. I mean, man, it was just, there is no way to replace the punch and the just ambient sound as soon as that needle touches the vinyl. And it's just like, and man, there's just something about it. I mean, it's archaic, yet just so fascinating and so robust and just so warm. Like it really, like it in certain terms of, I guess in temperature, like there's such a warm feeling to vinyl that is so great. My dad and I, like every time, on the weekend when we get a chance, we'll go over there and just sit out in the garage, and he's got it all decked out with his old stuff, and we just sit there. He'll stick on a record, and we'll just sit there and hang out, listen to records. It's like,
and there's something about that needle, as the needle wears or the record's been played so many times, that little skipping or that's part of the experience.
The little hiccups of static, just barely audible here and there. I mean, it's just, but I mean, just like,
you guys remember, was it like National Geographic? I think I can remember a couple. And there were other magazines, but they would have this little page of a vinyl sheet, and you would pop it out, and you would play it on a 45.
Oh, well, no, I didn't know about that. I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, I get it. That it makes sense. It would work. There's just, I love listening to records, period. I don't care what the music was playing. It's just something about the record. Just watching it dance. Just sitting there, watching it play, watching it dance. Just the whole thing is just great.
I grew up, much as I disliked my stepfather, but he had records all the way back to the turn of the last century. From the Hanks Are Coming, Yes, We Have No Bananas, 1920s and onward. So I had this ridiculously diverse record collection. Fogerty, Janis Joplin, Elvis, all originals. And some of these people he knew or went to college with. And I had all this music I could listen to.
Something else that kind of threw me off? I was watching when Haley is in town. Sometimes she'll sit there and watch something with the boy, like on the iPad or something like that. And like, I think they were watching something with Minecraft or something. And they were about to get up for a second, and they got up, and then like one of them runs back to like pause it and everything. I'm like, what do you care about pausing it? You can rewind it in 2 seconds. And they both look at me. They're like, what is rewind? And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
The other day is I was talking about something. I had this squeak noise, and he said that the needles or the record scratched, and a bunch of people are like, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, but just saying rewind, like we were so used to the word rewind, whether it was, 8-track, whether it was, that might have been a little more self. My dad had one that would do it.
Jammed up, you had to stick your pencil in there.
Yes, like on a cassette or anything. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, how in the world? Like, again, I feel honestly bad for every generation that can't experience it to the fullest in terms of, like, honestly, this is and I feel like this happens a lot with music too, because Haley always listened to my music and the older stuff I would listen to, like REO Speedwagon or whatever it was, like, because I love that old stuff because my dad would listen to it, and like the Doors, and like, you know, so like she got a feel for my 90s music and then back, and she loved it. And I think at some point in the very distant future, somebody's going to find an old record player have to like hotwire the damn thing and finally figure out, completely do it, and then they're going to hear it for the first time, and I swear to you, it's going to make their heads explode.
And even then, with the records, you had to change the needles, or it skipped, you had to replace it, whatever. There was some interaction with it. And nowadays, there's no physical interaction with anything other than hearing it.
Yeah, since he
hit think, Martin, of the joy of blowing into the Nintendo cassette cartridge.
No, I have not. I have not. Or like trying to stick another cartridge in to like kind of wedge it down a little bit. Or yeah, it was such a disaster. Since he had a good one, Be Kind Rewind.
I mean, eject button doesn't work. You know?
I mean, it's, oh man, Mike, REO Speedwagon is older to me. Okay, I know it's not older to you, Mike, by at least a few years. Smart aleck.
I know, Martin. Beyonce is classic rock to you.
No, you better put a ring on it.
My sophomore, junior years, the graduating classes were listening to ELO and PTO.
I mean, it's just, you know, there's just so much like when my kids listen, especially Haley, because she was in band and everything, so she got a significant more exposure to actually playing music, which I wanted her to do, because I think that's still one of the areas where they can learn to appreciate music. And so she absolutely appreciated more music than the average bear because of that. And so she would hear music and, you know, just, you know, be blown away by some of the classical stuff that I would listen to. And it's just like, I mean, everything. And literally, like I said, from the Andrew Sisters, where I picked them up from Abbott and Costello movies, I'm like, if you listen to them sing, it's just, man, it's just heavenly. And, you know, and just that progression on, like, you know, we would hit some, you know, Aretha Franklin, like we would talk about like female artists, and she's like, well, you know, are there any good female artists? I'm like, God, are you like, yes. I'm like, she's like, well, I mean, no guys are listening to it. I'm like, are you crazy? Like,
it was cool meeting Andrew, but every time he wasn't talking to somebody, he was humming "If I Were a Rich Man."
Right. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much good music out there. And again, I think we're just, you can see it with the reboot movies that they do. You can see it with the way the styles are going in music. You see it, like, people are fresh out of ideas.
Yeah, everything's a rehash.
And they're capitalizing on all the people that went through that fast process of all of these, of all the increase in technology and everything.
And you could say the same thing about movies. Movies are rehashes most of the time now too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's, you know, I'm sad for him. But you know, as long as the boy is into some of the older stuff, you know, like some of my generation stuff and even further back, I'm good with it, because I feel like, you know what, you're just going to be well-rounded. Even if he doesn't care about it later on in life, he'll still have some nostalgia, you know, watching it with me. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All my buddies' kids are jealous because they're and I'm blessed, but they're jealous because they try to show their kids anything from back then, and they're like, and McFly's like, oh, this is awesome. He's like, he's just so into it. It's hilarious. And he doesn't know half of what's in it, but yeah, he loves it. And so I'm gonna stick with it. But other than that, I'm gonna shut it down, everybody. I gotta get up at butt crack of dawn, get that boy to school, and thank God the wife's coming home tomorrow.
Excuse me.
I know.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
It'll be awesome.
You got that right. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. Oh, man. All right. Will Derek grace us with his presence tomorrow? He's supposed to. This boy is supposed to have no more games. I didn't even get into the word of the day or anything today. I'm gonna have to hit some of that tomorrow, the word of the day and all that tomorrow, because I can't get to it tonight. But you know, it's all right. It's all right. We'll get to it at some point. You know, we'll get there. But I appreciate all y'all for coming in, hanging out. Thanks to everybody that jumps on the Zoom. Very, very, very much appreciated. Yeah, I still though, man, I can't. It blows my mind. Shut up, Phil. I know, no ammo head. It's so late. All right, hold on. You asked for it. All right, hold on. One ammo head. If you're still here, we're gonna do an ammo head. We're gonna do watch it. One ammo head. I have so many things of his that I have to make still. And I haven't. All right, I'm gonna have. Let's see.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, there's Ron.
People know me. My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Let's do. Wow, I don't. That was disturbing. Let's do. I'm just gonna kind of pick at random. Here we go. Chicken iron skillet.
Hey guys and girls of YouTube, it's that time again.
It's that time again.
Oh, Ammo Head's back in the kitchen. And what you see right there is two pretty good size chicken boobies.
Look at them boobies!
This is of course a bigger, like always. One's usually kind of bigger. But anyway, I want to slice these up into strips. And then I want to season them. Then we're going to fry them in our cast iron pan, which is getting hot beside us right now.
Cook it up. Cook it up. Roast it.
Good. They ain't got to be perfect because after they're cooked, we're going to chop them up.
Chop them up. I can't wait.
I just want to cook them in strips because it's easier to turn them than chopping them up right now and trying to turn all those individual pieces. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. All right, that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and lay them back out.
Looks like he sharpened his knife.
I'm going to cook something called a chicken or a skillet chicken lasagna. I'm going to try to anyway.
I've never had chicken lasagna.
I saw some lady doing this on the TV a while back, and that got my interest a lot. So
that piqued it.
Let's salt it and put a little salt on it. And we're going to season it with some Italian seasoning.
Piqued it, I tell you.
So now we're going to roll it around all up in this business. Get all let to know each other.
Let them know each other real quick.
Something like that. That's right. Salt, Italian seasoning.
Andrew, I'd put 10 on it.
Now we're going to take it. And
Troy, you were not supposed to be gambling.
In our cast iron pan, which is right there.
Troy, don't gamble. No gambling.
I got just a little bit of cooking oil in there.
Might have to put you back to
brown these up.
No, sir.
Back there in the back.
All right.
Yeah, you can see. I've got some pasta boiling. Bow tie pasta.
I'm gonna shut it down because y'all ain't listening.
Get all this chicken in here. We know each other.
I'm not sure why I didn't remember. Watch everybody get in there real quick.
That's right. I think this will be pretty good. I've never made it before, but that lady on the TV piqued my interest. So what I'm going to do is get this cleaned up, wash my hands, and chop an onion up. We'll be right back.
Both of you.
Alrighty, it's been about 10 or 12 minutes. This chicken's done. I'm not really looking for a browning.
Yeah, it's your bad.
Some of them are starting to get a little brown on them. They're finished. I'm going to pull them out and just put them on a plate, let them rest for a few minutes because we don't need them right now. All out of there. Now.
You're all right, Troy.
Got a little cast iron pan.
Phil got it in there too
What
late.
we're going to do next, I chopped up about a medium-sized onion. Turn the heat down a little bit so we don't want to burn them. So
I should.
Put them in there.
That's for Fridays, Donald. saving up your points for it.
Good stuff. That's right. Just like I said, just like I was. Go ahead and mix in a little garlic powder.
I want a t-shirt that says, like I said, like I so.
Get them to know each other in there.
I'm not sure how you would get
We're
that.
gonna cook these onions off for about just 2 or 3 minutes.
On a shirt to express that saying, but that's what I want.
Smelling good. It smells like a restaurant.
Like a restaurant.
So like I said, we'll give them a couple minutes. And we'll see what happens next. Alrighty, it's been a couple minutes. Onions looking good, getting sweated down. We're going to add about a cup of chicken broth into this right now. Yeah. That's about a cup. I say it's about a cup.
That's about
a cup. I think that's about a cup.
That's about a cup.
So we're going to let this simmer for a while.
Oh, thanks, Donald.
Get all that goodness scraped up off the bottom of that pan. That might be a little more cup. I don't know. We're going to turn the heat up just for a minute to get it going, then we'll turn it back down. That's right. Battery's getting low. Got to change the batteries.
Change the batteries.
All right. Now, like I was saying before my batteries just died, I turned the heat up on this chicken broth. I'm going to let that cook for a while, let it reduce. So that way all that garlic and onion and chicken broth get to know each other. And we'll come back with the next step. I think this is going to be pretty good. Yeah, it's me. See, it's starting to come up. You know, see them little bubbles. Anyway, we'll come back when it's ready to do the next thing. All right, so it's been about 6 or 7 minutes.
For sure.
Most of that, the chicken broth is evaporated into those onions. Boy, I tell you what, guys, it smells good in here. All right, next we got a jar of marinara sauce.
Oh.
This is a 24-ounce jar. I don't think I'm going to need all of it. So I'm going to start putting some of that in here right now. Take a look at it. That's probably 75%.
I'm waiting for him to say, oh, hell.
That jar of marinara sauce. I think that looks like it might be enough. What do you guys think? More?
Right, country?
Nah, I think it looks pretty good. I'll save this marinara for something else. Now what I'm going to do, if I can find it, throw a lid on this cast iron pan right there, just like that.
Boom.
Turn the heat down to about medium low.
Nailed it.
And let that simmer get warmed up for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to throw all the goodness in it. That's right. Okay, guys, it's been about 10 or 12 minutes. And I think our sauce is finally finished warming up.
I saw
so now comes the
Coastal
fun
Carolina
part. We get to
App
just
State
dump
over there.
all kinds of stuff into it.
They usually have
I
a
think
good
I should have probably waited to make my pasta towards the last because it's kind of starting to stick. But I'm going to dump, I don't know if I'll dump all of it in there or not, but we're going to dump most of it.
Okay.
That's it, bow tie.
I like me some good old bow
stuff.
tie.
I can add more later if I need to. Let's see. Let's add about a cup or so of mozzarella cheese.
There, I was waiting for the cheese.
I said or so, right? Yeah, that's a cup or so. That's right. Add about a half a cup of Parmesan.
Now he has a cup?
You guys wait there. Something like that.
Now he has a cup.
I got some ricotta cheese here.
Oh,
Get a big
no.
old spoon. Ricotta. Just get a big old spoonful of it.
Oh, no.
Something like that. Put that in there. And here's all of our chicken that we cooked earlier.
Oh,
I
there
got
it is.
chopped up. I'm going to throw out all that in there. How about that, guys? Guys and girls, let's mix that all up. Just give it a good mixing up.
Here goes.
That is a skillet plum full of food.
Keith Stone, baby.
I don't know if I've got room to add any more pasta, so I'm probably thinking that's probably enough, I guess. Let me get this mixed up, guys. And since you watching this, hang on.
It is. I can say that. Chicken's
Alrighty,
even.
there it is, all mixed up, and I have tasted. Oh boy, that's some good stuff, I'm telling you. But I ain't done with it. I'm gonna add some more mozzarella cheese.
Oh, of course. Here we go.
To the top of it. Hell, put it all in there. Spread it around a little bit. Something like that. It's so put a little parsley flake.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a little green,
so we won't just dump it everywhere. A little parsley flake. A little more parsley flake. Make it look pretty.
Make it look.
Now
pretty.
I've got my oven. Where's the top of my parsley flake at? I got my oven on broil. What we're going to do is give that top some color. And my tripod's in the way, so you guys are going to wait.
Okay.
Here we go. Going in the oven right now. All right, guys and girls, there is the finished product.
Looks good. I mean,
Can you
I'd
see
eat
how
it.
pretty that is? I mean, just look at that. Look at it. Can you see it? That's right. It only took about 2 minutes on that broiler to get a little bit of color. I just think it makes it look better. Let's see. Let's move you guys over here to a plate.
I mean, country. I agree.
Just a few minutes. We're going to cut into it. Get us a big square of it.
Oh yeah, Graham. Some crushed red pepper.
Sir.
Oh,
Look at
man.
that. Look at that holding together. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I went and cooked me off a big piece of garlic bread there too.
Good
That's right.
Lord.
Pow. Sometimes you just gotta say it. Pow. Say pow. That's right. We gotta do it. We got to, right?
Oh, here we go.
To.
ASMR time.
Chicken skillet lasagna or whatever the hell it's called.
Give it to me.
Cheesy, I know that.
Come on.
Let's say. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That will not be the last time I'm making that. Either way, guys, thanks again for hanging out.
Ow!
Watching. As always, cheers. And just, man, you got to try this. What is it? Skillet chicken lasagna? I think that's what it's called. Call it bread. Yep. I'm going to slam my face in it. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
When you stay at a Verbo.
Stop that, Verbo. No advertisements. All right, there, Patrick. I got you, man. I got you. Ran a little late. That's all right. It was worth it. It's he's got that laugh. I love it. He's absolutely somebody I wish like we could get like at a pipe meet with like Willie and John and everybody, like just a bunch of peas in a pod. I'm telling you. So good. Appreciate it, Patrick. Glad you and Cincy and Country and Troy and Phil and Mike. Appreciate everybody. Graham. All you guys and gals. Lovely Sue Jones. Thank y'all for always hanging out. Always appreciate everybody who jumps on the Zooms as well. It's nice of you to do it, and I think it's fun for everybody too. They get a lot out of it. Chad, good to see you, sir. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're gonna be right as rain. Right as rain, Chad. That's what we're hoping for. Appreciate all of you. It's so much fun. Just love having everybody. But yeah, D-Man should be back tomorrow, so hopefully he doesn't tell me he's got another game. Otherwise, I swear to God, gonna be moving some furniture up in this house. Dadgummit, as a curmudgeon would say. Looking forward to tomorrow as well, Andrew. Always appreciate you jumping on. Thanks for jumping on the live. And, oh God, that stupid damn f***ing donkey. God bless it. It's done, mate. Drove me to cussing. We'll see y'all tomorrow.